Chris Graham here from Trailblazer RV with an in-depth construction walkthrough of the 2021 Venture RV Stratus travel trailer. Now this is sort of a construction focused video highlighting the whole Stratus line. If you're looking for something more floor plan specific, check out our top 5 playlist. But most of the stuff we're going to talk about in this video could be applied to any Stratus trailer. And what I like to do is start from the ground up. So right here at the running gear, the first thing you notice with Stratus is they use a standard 15-inch E-rated tire instead of the 14-inch D-rated tire. So the E tire historically means 10 ply rather than 8 ply, but more importantly than that is the weight capacity. The E tire can support more weight than the D, and the 15-inch wheels rather than the 14-inch wheels are going to give you a higher ground clearance as well as just generally a nicer towing experience. Tires are also nitrogen filled, that's what the green valve stem cap means, and feature the Easy Lube axles. So you can pop that center cap off the center of the hub there, and it'll expose a grease zerk, which you can use a grease gun to grease your inner and outer wheel bearings. So that doesn't eliminate the need to repack your wheel bearings, but it definitely prolongs the intervals. Also, sort of related to the running gear is the frame for the trailer. All Stratus trailers use the BAL huck bolted frame. So about 75% of the RV industry uses the same frame. It's your typical, it's called an LCI frame, which is the standard steel I-beam frame. This is built by a company called BAL. It's huck bolted rather than welded. So the huck bolts give you an even clamp load, and there's very little manual welding done on this frame. Anything that is welded is robotic welded and CNC welded and cambered as well. So it's a stronger frame, it's lighter, and it's better rust proofed as well. It's E-coated with an extra coat of paint on the front and the back in the heavy rust areas. So lighter, stronger, and better rust proofed. Also features more outriggers than a conventional RV frame as well. So the outriggers are what come off of the frame to support the floor outside of the frame rails. And you'll find, if you look down a Stratus frame, you'll find outriggers about every 4 feet. So lots of support for that floor outside of the frame rails. Speaking of the floor, every Venture RV trailer, whether it's a Stratus or a Sonic or a Sport Trek, they all use a 5/8 tongue and groove fir plywood floor. And that doesn't seem like a big thing, but the industry standard there is OSB or chipboard. Fir plywood has much better longevity, especially if you ever get a water leak or something in the RV. Where that water tends to end up is on the floor or in the floor. And with some of those OSB floors, water can cause real damage there, can cause swelling and breaking apart of that floor. You never get that with a fir plywood floor. And being that the floor is what supports the walls and the roof and everything, it's one component of an RV that can't ever really be fixed. So the fact that they put the little bit of extra investment in to go with a fir plywood floor there says a lot for the overall quality of the product. It's a tongue and groove floor as well. So the joints where the plywood meets fit together with a tongue and groove joint instead of just being butted up together like you would typically have with an OSB floor. Also like to talk a little bit about the sidewall construction. Stratus trailers use welded aluminum framing for the sidewall. The floors and the roof are framed with wood, which isn't a bad thing because you've got fasteners that need to go into the floors and the roof to fasten down the floor decking and the roof decking and stuff like that. Wood has better elasticity than aluminum. The sidewalls, though, are framed in welded aluminum. And when Venture RV does a welded aluminum frame for the sidewalls, it's welded, and it's welded on both sides of the stud, rather than just a lot of other manufacturers out there will only weld on one side or will spot weld. These wall frames are a full bead weld on both sides of the stud. They also use, in key structural areas, they also use a wood backing inside the aluminum tube in that wall. So in places where the wall needs to be secured to the frame, or there's cabinets secured to the aluminum framing for the wall, there's actually a wood backing inside that aluminum tube so that the fasteners have something to bite into. Now, the wall structure itself is a whole sandwich of materials. You've got your outside Lamilux fiberglass exterior laminated to a thin backing, then a 1.5-inch foam insulation, and then your interior wall panel. And Venture RV, through the KZ construction facility, has a dedicated lamination building. It's all they do in that building is lamination, so they can control the temperature and humidity and everything that needs to be controlled to make sure that you get a proper laminated wall. They do both pinch rolling and vacuum laminating technique. And the big thing that separates a Stratus wall from other Venture and KZ products or other comparable RVs on the market, you notice obviously that it's red. This is Victory red fiberglass exterior, but the outside fiberglass panel that they use is a product called Lamilux. And if you go with the upgraded, especially the higher gloss colored fiberglass, it's a Lamilux 4000. So you get the higher gloss. You don't see the individual fibers in the fiberglass. You get that colored fiberglass, but that fiberglass sheet itself is actually just about 50% thicker than the typical Lamilux 1000 that's popular in the industry that you see on a lot of white coaches. So the idea there obviously is just a much more attractive looking RV, but also one that'll age better, that won't fade as well, or it won't fade as much as some of the other colored fiberglass out there, and just a little bit more robust product being just about 50% thicker. For 2021, they added the automotive front windshield. Now this is not a typical RV safety glass window. It's not going to shatter if you catch a rock or something as you're traveling. This is an actual windshield glass, so it's a laminated glass like an automotive windshield. If it did pick up a rock, it might chip or crack, but it'll never shatter. It's also not an opening window like the old, some of the old compression windows. It doesn't open and it doesn't have the weep holes, so you won't get the water leak issues that we've had years past with front windows, and it makes a big difference to the interior, normally the bedroom of the RV. Another big thing that I like to show with the Stratus product is here at the baggage doors. It's a much thicker baggage door. It's a full 1-inch thick baggage door instead of the little 1/2-inch panel door that you see on a lot of other products. And they come with the slam latch hardware. So nicer latching mechanism. You're not going to get that door bending out and creating dust leaks or water leaks there. And also the magnetic door hardware is really nice and handy when you're in and out of that baggage door. Inside the baggage compartment, I like to always look inside here and show that this is real plywood. And that's something that's kind of an ongoing theme with Venture RV products, Stratus included. We talked about it in the floor already, but you'll also see all real plywood underneath mattresses, bunk beds, dinette cushions, a lot of places where in other products you would see OSB or MDF, like a particle board. You'll see all real plywood with a Stratus. While we're at the baggage doors, I'd just like to point out the seal here as well. Not only is the door itself a little heavier duty and thicker, but the seal is an actual automotive rubber seal rather than that light gray foam seal that you often see on baggage doors. Come with me around the back. We talked a little bit about that frame, that huck-bolted frame. It's built by a company called BAL. And BAL now builds a bumper and hitch that's designed to work specifically with that frame. So there's a lot of RVs out there that have a hitch on the back, but none that I've seen that are as heavy duty as this. They give it a maximum load capacity of 250 pounds, which is the same as a lot of other hitches and cargo trays on the market. But this is much better built than some of the other cargo tray options that you'll find. And with the hitch, obviously you can use a cargo tray if that's what you want, but if you'd prefer a bike carrier or a kayak rack or whatever you like, there's all kinds of hitch mounted options for you. There's even some areas, not here in Alberta, but there's even some areas where you might consider towing a small trailer behind it. The slide outs are another thing that are built by BAL and designed to work specifically with that BAL NXG frame. So the slide out is an electric rack and pinion system rather than, you'll see a lot of the cheaper and lighter slide outs out there that have the slide out mechanism here on the side, whether it be a track or a cable. These ones are driven from underneath, so they're supported much better. It's a heavier duty mechanism and it's easy to adjust and maintain. You can see some adjustment here for the slide outs if they need to be adjusted by one of our RV technicians or even by yourself if you're a handy person. Inherently, this type of slide out doesn't require as much adjustment as some of the cable slides and other ones out there, but it's easy to work on if you ever need to, and very little maintenance needed. The only maintenance that they recommend for this slide is just periodically greasing the top rack area where it turns in the gears, and that's really all there is to it. They also do a better job of slide seals than most manufacturers in the industry. And you'll see here, if I pull this wiper seal back, there's a second wiper seal in there. And if I can get my finger in behind that, there's a bulb seal. So it's a triple sealed slide. Anytime it's fully extended or retracted, that's what they call an H seal for that slide. It's a heated and enclosed underbelly on Stratus, and you'll notice the gate valve right above that dump hose. The gate valve passes right through the frame, so the valve itself is actually up inside that heated and enclosed underbelly area. Stratus uses a full foil wrap insulation as well. In addition to the fiberglass bat style insulation, there's the floor, roof, and end caps are wrapped with reflective foil to give you that little bit of extra insulation. One last thing here on the outside that I like to point out is for winterizing, all Stratus trailers have the water pump mounted right in the same place, right here inside the baggage door. There's just two little screws to open up this access panel here, and that's where you'll access your water pump. And it's already got the siphon kit installed on it for easy winterizing. So if you're a person who likes to do your own winterizing, it's really easy to do that. You can set your jug of antifreeze right here inside the storage compartment, and your winterizing kit is right there. Follow me inside. I'll show you a few more things on the inside of the trailer. Here we are inside the 2021 Venture RV Stratus. I just want to point out a couple of things. In 2021, they updated their interior for the more modern farmhouse style. Stratus kind of pioneered the light cabinets a few years ago, and it really caught on and became one of our most popular interiors. And now I think they've really done a great job again of just updating that and modernizing it with the modern farmhouse look, the dark and light contrasting. Just a really nice interior. Some little things that they do, like the sealed surface countertops. These are completely impervious to water, so if you do get some water sitting on the countertop, it's not going to cause any damage. Not like the old countertops that used to have the edge molding. If you ever got any moisture in there, it could swell up. That edge molding was constantly shrinking. You'll never have that problem with this. Nice fixtures with the spring-loaded kitchen sink here. The drying rack. Actually, it should comes with two drying racks, so you can have a little more functional sink cover. These cabinets themselves, by the way, are all real wood. The cabinet styles are wrapped to give it its wood grain look, but it's a real wood, piece of real wood behind that. It's a lumber core. Think of it like a 2x4 wrapped with a vinyl to give it the look. People often ask me if that's a particle board or an MDF, but it's a real wood in there. Same goes for the drawers as well. They're full extension ball bearing drawer glides, but the drawers themselves are all real wood drawer stock. So again, kind of along that same theme of real plywood floors, real wood drawer stock. You look underneath the dinette cushions, you're going to see real plywood there. Same goes for the bunk bed or master bed. As you're out shopping for RVs, look at these things. You'll be surprised how often you see a big hunk of OSB or chipboard there. I love in the master bedroom, they do the store more nightstands. So every Stratus trailer at the head of the bed has utilized the space in what would have been the back of these closets to give you a nightstand there. And they put 110 volt and 12 volt USB chargers at both sides. And incidentally, these nightstands are specifically sized to fit some of the common CPAP machines. So if you or your partner sleep with a CPAP machine, it most likely will fit there, and you've got power for it. You can see what I mean by the front window. Really adds something to this master bedroom. What else can I talk about inside? I always like to point out something small with Venture RV, but it really is a lot of these small things that add up to be a lot better quality product than some of the others we see. Rather than a stapled on batten on the ceiling, they use a T-molding here. So these ceiling panels come in 4x8 sheets. So every 4 feet, there's a seam. Other manufacturers just staple that up to the roof truss and then put a batten across it. And what we see constantly with those is 3, 4, 5 years down the road, well after your warranty period is out, those battens, those staples let go and those battens start to hang down. With this T-molding, the sheets actually fit into the T-molding, and then it's the molding itself that's attached to the roof trusses. So you're never going to get the molding hanging down like a batten would, and you can really never get a ceiling panel falling down like so many people have seen in RVs of the past. What else? The bunk beds in bunk model Stratuses. It's something really minor, but I always like to point it out that they include a ladder. I know it's one of the things that my kids love about it, and it is a good safety feature having an actual ladder to get up into the bunks. Also, as you're shopping Stratus models against other floor plans, keep a close eye on storage. Stratus does a very good job of storage. You'll find a lot of large storage areas like the entry door closet here, which functions both as a closet and a pantry area. And another great one to point out is in every Stratus floor plan, there's a safe tech box as well. So the end of this cabinet, which you would think is just where the cabinet terminates, is actually a hidden storage area with 110 volt power and 12 volt USB chargers. Idea there being to get some of that stuff that always ends up on the counter, your keys, your phone, all that stuff that ends up in a pile on the counter, get it up out of the way and away from sight, out of mind sort of thing. This one also has the solar panel option installed right from the factory, and that's something you're going to find on almost all of our Stratuses here at Trailblazer. The factory installed 100 watt solar panel and gas electric fridge. A lot of manufacturers and including some Venture RV products are going to the 12 volt only electric compressor fridge. But if you're doing a lot of off-grid camping, the ability to run your fridge on gas and the factory installed solar charging system can really do a lot to extend your camping experience. And I think that pretty much covers it for the detailed construction walkthrough of the 2021 Stratus product. Make sure to check out some of our other detailed construction videos, as well as our Trailblazer top 5 list if you're interested in comparing some of the individual Stratus floor plans. Thanks for watching.